And now let's speak about who came after Konrad Haydn. After Konrad Haydn, it was about after World War II. We have to say that Hitler biography were written a ton. There were tons of Hitler biographies written. I focus now here only on the main biographies, which are treated like standard and are cited all around. So it's good to know about them, and it's recommended to really to use them, to read them. One biography which is still which is translated in many languages, also in small languages, and you find all over the world and is still read. It's the Alan Bullock study in tyranny in 1952. It's a British historian who wrote, they say the first comprehensive biography of Hitler. Like it was maybe the first like modern type of biography who already uses like testimonies of Albert Speer, for example, or Hermann Rauschning and other eyewitnesses. Problem was this, that Alan Bullock, this is the critic, maybe focused too much on these, the reliance was too strong on these witnesses from Albert Speer and the others, or Hermann Rauschning, who it's proved that what Hermann Rauschning wrote about Hitler, he wrote that he had tons of discussions with Hitler and meetings with him in person, and it's proved that it's not true. He had maybe 3-4 meetings, and that's all. But he wrote a book about a lot of meetings. So we have to know that these eyewitnesses, these memoirs, are not 100% reliable. So that's the critic from Alan Bullock. Then later we have a very important biography from the German side, the Joachim Fest. But I will first speak about Ian Kershaw, because Ian Kershaw is somebody from, let's say the British side, and then I will later talk about the German authors. Ian Kershaw is born in 1943 and is up until today maybe the most important biography of Adolf Hitler, like worldwide standard. I myself use it also as a source, and I know also other are citing a lot about. It's not when it's a question about Hitler, they are citing from Kershaw. It's like a standard. It's like a scientific word. So it's he uses proven facts more or less. Kershaw learned German initially. Initially was interested in the Middle Ages. He has an own story, like how he get involved with the Third Reich. He is not an eyewitness of the time, born in 43, that's normal. And he get in the 17th to Munich, like learning German, being interested in Middle Ages. And then he had an anecdote that they are sitting in a cafe in Munich. Then he had a discussion with a guy there, with an old man sitting there around. And the old man said, "Hey, when you Englishmen were not so stupid back then, and you would fight on our side. Together, we could have defeated the Bolshevism and take over the whole world." Yeah, and he added at the end, "The Jew is a louse." Yeah, that's like he was like surprised that somebody in Germany after World War II, knowing the Holocaust, and in the 17th, the Holocaust is getting to be known and more discussed and more discussed. Yes, he was like shocked, and now I have to know why the people are now why people are doing or saying something like that. Yeah, that's for me it's a little bit stereotypical. First, if this happened like that, that's the question. Second, if really Kershaw being interested in Middle Ages and then switched because an old guy somewhere in the cafe said something. Another thing. Third thing is that an old guy in the cafe drinking a beer saying something like that, when we could together fought against Bolshevism, it's not something special. People are saying something like that. So there so much about this, maybe a little bit stereotypical story. As I said, in the international press and international review, he gets very good stars. He gets the highest stars. They say, Kershaw, this is the standard. And yeah, it's a new biography. It came out 20 years ago, so it's quite very new, very fresh. But there are some statements who are not 100%. For example, the statement that Kershaw said that Hitler spoke a Bavarian dialect because his father moved from Braunau to Passau shortly after his birth. That's a legend. He takes over from Mein Kampf because Hitler himself stated he's speaking the Bavarian dialect. Yeah, when I was in Passau, I learned it. And then all my life, I'm speaking with that strange dialect, like German from Germany. Everybody in Austria, yeah, he's a real German from Germany. That's not true and not realistic. It's a legend created by Hitler himself. He was 4 years old, some months spending with his mother in Passau. Passau was on the border from Braunau, from Austria. They're speaking exactly the same dialect like on the other side of the border. There is no Bavarian dialect from Passau and from Braunau. They're speaking the same. That's the first thing. And the second, he was all his time in his youth, all his time in the school as a schoolboy. Then later, the time as a young man, he was in Austria. And he was not on the border in Braunau. He was always in Linz and then in Vienna. So he spoke like the guys in Linz or in Vienna. That's also many people later in Germany said that Hitler spoke with in a strange way, because he tried to speak like the way they speak maybe in Munich, but he must have such interference. Okay, that's a story about this, but there's another interesting fact about Kershaw. First, it's really two big books, about 50 pages. The first book, it's speaking until the World War II, and the second book, it goes only around. It's around World War II, and here is my critic, that when you're writing a biography about Hitler, and you are spending all your time about what's happening on the front in Russia, like what the Wehrmacht doing, and so on. That's not really a biography about Adolf Hitler. So it lacks a little bit the private insight, like Adolf Hitler, like interacting privately, and so his family or his background is treated not so intensively as it, for example, are treated all the military operations happening in the east, on the Eastern Front. And so if you're interested in World War II, then the second book of Kershaw's Hitler biography gives you all information. So that's like a little critic on that side. So that's what I get from reading it. Yes, that's about Kershaw, but still, this is the standard.